I'm here with Matt from XFC, and mate, the card's just wrapped up. It was an amazing night. Tell me about the crowd and the atmosphere that was out there.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So when you got such a big venue, try and get as many people into the stadium as possible is always a challenge. But yeah, I think the people really responded to knowing it was the last card. Yeah, the fighters really got behind it as well. So they all sold well. Which is good, it means they've got all their supporters there with them, and they're not just doing it on their own, so really excited for the crowd tonight.
There was lots of championships on tonight. I think we had 4 in total. Some changed hands, some didn't. What stuck out in your memory, mate?
You'd have to go the lightweight amateur belt. So I was really torn with that one. You got Connor Birch, who I think is one of the nicest guys in the world, comes from a great gym at Tribal. But then David Russell, I don't care what promotion you own, what promotion you've got alliances to, those two are easily the best 2 lightweight amateurs in the country. I don't care what you say. And to see Connor come out and absolutely blitz the first half of that round, and then to David, David again capitalised on the slightest little opportunity to put Connor to sleep. That's huge. I still think Connor and David are absolutely the 2 best lightweights in the country. So I had goosebumps leading up to that fight. Yeah, and that definitely delivered as well. And
they definitely looked like they could just jump straight into the pro ranks.
Yeah, 100%.
Whenever they wanted to, basically.
Yeah. You see that next step, and we've got some great amateurs that are on the card, but when those 2 guys get in the cage, they're just at that next level. And it's not only the skill-wise, but it's just the mentality as well. Dave was rocked. I don't reckon you'll remember that fight. He was hit that hard. And so for him to come through that, and win that fight, that shows that next step. When people get rocked like that, they might get nervous and do something silly. He does the opposite. He gets rocked and he gets smarter and he responds. So, and even Darren Happen, I'm so excited for that guy. His 3rd opportunity at the belt to finally bring it home.
Yeah.
Against a really tough opponent again. Yeah, the amount of work that those guys have been doing down at Southside, really proved.
And it's great to see. I travel out to a lot of the local shows, and XFC champions amateurs like no other promotion. And it's so great that they get the chance to actually, you can see progression, from when you start. There's already a title on the line for you in the amateur ranks, and then you know that you can progress all the way through to professional and into the UFC or other larger promotions like that.
Yeah, it's all about the experience. We want them to experience absolutely everything in the amateur ranks, so that by the time they hit it at a professional level, they know what to expect. If you're not doing amateur titles, you're basically putting these guys out into the wild. You might be able to give them some tough fights, but I love the fact that Connor now has won the belt, he's lost the belt, he'll be able to come back and try and win it again. David Russell now has won the interim belt, he's now won the unified belt. You don't get those experiences without actually throwing them into the deep end. So if he ever does decide to go pro, and in 5 or 6 years' time, if he gets that title fight then, he'll remember the time that he fought for the XFC amateur title, so it won't be as daunting. So that's the main reason why we do the amateur title fights.
Matt the Viper Vale, it's his 4th defence of your welterweight title.
Yeah.
Where does he go from here?
We already know that he's on the door. So he's got the best manager in the game, so Justin Lawrence. Justin Lawrence has already got Damien Brown into the UFC. He got Matt's teammate as well, Luke Jumo, into the UFC. So we know that if someone's dealing with Justin and Justin's got their back getting into the UFC, they're going to get there. So yeah, he's already there. So this was another good opportunity for him, and dangerous opponent. Again, on a week's notice. Joel Fahey, a lot of people thought that Joel Fahey could have got the upset, because he's that brilliant. So Matt Vale, I don't think Matt Vale will defend the belt again. I think he's going to get the call up, possibly Perth or something like that. So
as a promotion, someone who looks after a promotion, is that what you're after? Is that really your end goal? Is to get these fighters through your ranks, win your title, and get them onto the UFC?
Yeah, 100%. We don't want to keep them. It's like when you look in even like any business. If you've got an employee underneath you don't want them to stick around forever. Because if they stick around forever, they're not going to progress anywhere. So we want those employees, the fighters, to turn and say, I'm better than you now. This is the next step. And we've invested a lot of money in Matt. So he was one of the guys that when we bought the business, we said we're going to invest in you. You're like a franchise fighter. So yeah, it's always nice to have a resume to say, these are the fighters that we've had. Your Robert Whitakers and your Lombards come through the XFC. I think in a couple of years' time we'll be looking back and saying, hey, remember that Matt Vale's dynasty?
100%.
He defended it 4 times. We've actually changed our belt a little bit for this fight, so the logo's changed a little bit, the colour scheme. So I'm really stoked that Matt's already got 4 belts when he won it, 3 defences. Now he gets the new belt.
Awesome.
And I think he's got his 3rd championship ring now. I love Matt. He's the nicest bloke too. Yeah, really happy.
And I mean, you see that across basically all of your fighters. They're all very humble, and martial arts is really coming to the fore there, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Like, they're just the nicest people, you know. So, but not only that, it's not only the guys that are flying over, but their teammates are flying over with them as well. Their coaches they used to work with years before. The New Zealand community is incredible. You know, it's really special. Some of the best people we work with are the Kiwis from across the ditch, and you see them out the back here. They all jump in the same corner. You know, they all help each other warm up. They all help each other get their wraps done, and you'll even see them cornering as well. So you see when they do fly over to Australia, they will band together, but they're more than happy to punch each other in the face when they go back to New Zealand.
And I mean, speaking of which, this leads it straight perfectly into next week. You've got a card over in Dunedin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that'll be that's massive for you guys. You're expanding.
Yeah.
And New Zealand's a key figure for you guys. So what's going on next week?
Yeah, 100%. So XFC has always been known for the Anzac connection. You know, we invest in the Kiwis more than any other show in the country. And once again, you've got the guys like Luke Joe and Matt Vale that are holding the fort. You can see why we put that money there. It all started when you've got some incredible fighters like Brogan Anderson, for example, that wants to earn his way back into a title fight, but he could probably only fight for us 2 or 3 times a year. So our goal was, well, instead of him having to wait for that opportunity, why can't he take a fight on XFC but just do it in New Zealand? So we're working with a really good promotion over there called Hammerhead Promotions. They've been around for as long as the UFC. They've got some great business partners as well. So we tapped them on the shoulder and said, hey, look, do you guys want to work together? And even that's opened up some incredible doors for them. So there are some great companies in New Zealand that are trying to come across to Australia as well. So some really good cross-promotion opportunities and sponsorships have really opened up the door. And that's allowed us to attract some really good fighters to the show as well, so we're excited for it.
And not only that, I mean, but from that you can also look for other sponsors and all that sort of thing. So if anyone's out there looking to get involved with XFC, how do they do that?
So yeah, the best thing is hit me up on Facebook, so it's Matt XFC or our XFC page. And our goal is, if a sponsor gives us X amount of dollars, we want to return it 100 times over. I guess the last thing I would say is, we don't like to call them sponsors, we call them partners. So too often a sponsor will give you money and they don't get a return on investment. If you're a partner of ours, our goal is to see your business blow out of the water. So we're pretty transparent about that.
That's great. And I mean, when's the next XFC Australian card? When can everyone watch and actually come and put their bum in a seat?
I'm really excited. So normally after the end of the show, the adrenaline's completely dumped and I don't want to think about fighting again for a while.
Sorry about that.
I'd love to do a show tomorrow, honestly. And we had that much feedback from the fighters that were in the crowd today saying, put me on your next show. So we're probably going to go first in Queensland next year. So we're probably looking mid-February. So a couple of fighters have already told us they're not going to celebrate Christmas as much as they normally would. So if you're thinking of having a fight early, try and stay off the ham and the drinks, and we'll have something for you in February.
Awesome. So there you go, guys. That's the wrap up here from Logan Metro Arena. And we'll catch you next time at XFC 33.
Mate, and a massive thank you for coming up and doing this for us as well, so we really appreciate it.
No worries, mate.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, mate.
XFC, kicking ass and making names since 2003.